All right. Went and got me something to drink. Settle back in here to this. I was going to tell you, I do have this big hang up, even more hang ups on top of previously existing hang ups. Because I had the two daycare abuses on me from the 60s when I was a child. I don't remember much of the first one except for having to stay in the workers' room a lot of the time with other kids. Mostly it was this one same girl all the time. In the bed. They made us stay in the bed. And I remember being sick there. They had made me so sick. Got my nerves all up on edge, and I had to take medicine. And part of the time I'd sleep on this cot they had back there in Donna's bedroom. She went to see her dad, took the train to see her dad to St. Louis on weekends after work, and came back for Monday. Probably came back Sunday evening or something. And I had to stay on that. And there was this puke pan they had underneath that, for me being so nervous all the time, they just were non-stop craziness. I had to stay with that underneath my little cot. And then it skipped a little while. And then by second grade, they were at it again. This town and their abuse, I swear to God. Just shoot them. Okay? The ones that are left, just weed them out. Line them up. End it. That's what I'm thinking. Of course, I'd been trying to get some closure for years and years. Never have. So, I am kind of jangled, and I do apologize for that. Made us stay in the closet in second grade, and I did some videos on that. Look at my channel. I'm only subscribed to myself, and if they're not on this particular channel that we're on now, then they're on those other two. I unsubscribed to everyone else because every time I get on there and go to the home thing, click there, and it take me right home. I was just video after video, like more than 100 of them all the time. Nice to choose from, but when you've got to try to stick to your purpose. And then it skipped a while after second grade, and there were some sporadic incidents. Um, I won't go into those too much. There was some sexual abuse with a babysitter, and I'd become a runaway from at least a couple babysitters, which upset my dad. Not only because of it being abuse, but because he was still working at Kroger while he was trying to take his test to work at the post office. And he was on night shift. And when I'd come home and couldn't get him at the door, I'd go into the garage and get something long handled like a rake and tap so he would hear me. And then normally he would just drive me right back over there. But then on Wednesdays he learned just to keep me with him, and it was his day off after he got hired on at the Sedalia post office before he did the transfer up to Knob Noster to carry on Whiteman. Um, and we'd go to like Papa Jake's, and other mailmen would be there, and they'd take their break there and get coffee or something, and just have a little gathering. And he liked to be there when he knew they were there. And so he would buy me like a bear claw and a chocolate milk. But then it skipped quite a while, and there were some things in high school, but it was basically voice to skull attacks. Because after you tune people out like I had to, I was very vivacious, and um, I don't like to brag, but I was hot to look at. If you can imagine, with the bright red hair and the dashing green eyes, and um, 105 pounds, and I was fit then, in good physical shape, because I had ran track for a while, and at the cabin I would either swim or row or stuff like that, and I walked all the time. So, and 5'3", and just so full of it, as far as personality and vim and vigor and vinegar and whatever. So it sometimes was a challenge for other people to not want to engage in like a verbal or a psychological battle with me. And sometimes it was just outright verbal abuse by them, which I had to just eventually tune out or not ever be able to move on. And part of it was like they really enjoyed upsetting the redhead and tease the redhead, and oh, let's see how many shades of red we can turn the redhead today, and talk about below the waist and the color of hair if it matched on top, and it was just totally verbal abuse, sexual sexual in nature, and just to tune it out so I didn't become that. I didn't let it feed my spirit, and I'm glad I didn't let it feed my spirit, because people can get through life without all that. People could actually get through life without sex if other people didn't decide they need to be a part of that already existing challenge of doing without it. If if it is a challenge for people, and sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, by not engaging them in conversation about it, because it's the other person who does the engaging of trying to upset the person that's under attack that is who's lacking. They have that track only in their mind. You've heard the expression one track mind. Well, that's where that comes from, because of maybe their breeding. That's where it always goes. It's they picked up the book Body Fantastic, for instance, or something. I don't know that there's a book of that name, but and never put it down. It's always on their mind, always, 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 always. Like walking right foot, left foot is to me, and using my eyes and being able to communicate is to me. To them, that's that. And I don't appreciate people with a sexual nature to the point that it's the dominating thing. It dictates their entire scope of life. I don't need that, you know? So, anyhow, then after I got married, it was the Julie Hardy thing, which I mentioned in the last video. She decided that she would abuse us. Well, first it was the hospital saying my son wasn't sick, it was all in my head. And then him dying, and then me having to go to Charter Hospital for 30 days to recuperate because of a meltdown, and then them telling me I wasn't pregnant with Bradley until 4 months into it, so me being stuck on medicine that I should have been off of, because I told them at 3 months I was 3 months pregnant, and they said, oh no, you're not. And it wasn't until the 4th month that they finally agreed with me. But I think I skipped a part again. My brain damage does that to me all the time. Oh, even before that, see, when John and I met, it was in May of '85, and he wasn't divorced yet, and I have a very strict personal policy about other people's people. I don't want to get in the middle. It's just not a good place to be. In the middle sucks. So I didn't even hold his hand, and we met on the way to an Alki meeting, um, because that was part of my mom's own personal condition for me, was for me to attend meetings. It wasn't a court order at all. It was mom's idea, but I eventually started liking it. But that was her. If the court had ordered me and said, now you sit there and you like it, I'd probably never grasp it because I'd be too busy hating on it. But because it was my mom, eventually I took to it, like a fish to water. But um, met in the May, and then by September we were married. So it was actually a May to September romance. And I think a lot of what made him mad was they didn't get a chance because I didn't take him out and flaunt him. I didn't bar hop and lounge thing. I've got social anxiety. I never did all that. A lot of people, that's so much a part of their fabric of being that they can't get through a week without going to a bar. So I didn't, though. Okay, I had become my own person. I didn't need a group of people to make me be the person that I always wanted to be. I made my own self the person the best that I could. And because I didn't have John out flaunting him, this all started occurring to me not too long ago, that maybe they felt a little deprived because they didn't get to critique him or eye him up and down and then try to input, you don't want him. He's not right for you. He's too old for you. Or, oh, he's such a bum. Or this, that, and the other thing. All that was taken away from them. So then when Julie Hardy got a hold of it,